All right, back again for more of my random thoughts this time from Tumortown. Bruce here as usual. So, one of the best clients we had during that period with Film and Tape Associates was Gary Kerns, Kerns and Associates. Uh, he was phenomenal. He was of my dad's generation. Um, I think my dad was the second ad agency in town. Gary was the third. Or it was Gary that was the second. My dad was the third. One of the two. So Gary, knew my parents. So my wife, tried to do a president to president like marketing campaign. Let me come talk to you, the president of the ad agency. Blah blah blah. Well, virtually all the other ad agencies either didn't even want to see us, and those that did just pretty much blew us off. But Gary actually saw me. He sat down, he watched my demo reel, he listened to me, we talked, and we hit it off. You know, and Gary said, "I got a job for you." And Gary gave me a gig, and from that on, we did a lot of work for Gary for the next probably 15 years until he retired and would later pass away. And I miss him terribly. And, really, really bad. His wife passed away not too long ago, too, which was just as sad. But we did some really fun work. I mean, the first thing he had me do was a campaign for a little market downtown. And, it was basically, a silent commercial, just a little voiceover narrative. And, just people interacting, walking along the sidewalk, doing a little shopping, this and that. But, hey, let's shoot this in 16 millimeter. Excellent. So I got my team. We went out and we spent the afternoon and evening and we shot this thing in 16. We put it together and we ran, I think there were 3 commercials, something like that. And they looked great. And they ran and did exactly what they wanted over the holiday season. Everything was fine. And one of Gary's clients was the guy who started a Planet Hollywood. I can't think of his name right now. He also ended up buying Hard Rock, but then selling that to the Seminole Indians. But he owned a Mecca Leisure at the time, and it was a whole chain of these themed dining experiences. Mardi Gras, King Henry's Feast, this kind of thing. And so we ended up doing, promotional videos for each one of those facilities, which were wonderful gigs. That was a good couple day shoot, nice edit, and we would revise it generally at least once a year. Wonderful, wonderful. And they were just my kind of thing, because they were generally fairly quick paced, had a lot of decent entertainment, so you had good visuals to work with, so forth and so on. And I was able to use voiceover talent that I'd known all my life, guys like, that were at the old radio station where I used to do it with my mom, those kind of things. And we did another film thing on one of those properties called Fort Liberty, which was really interesting, the family riding in a car, going, geez, I'm really bored, I want to do something else. What else can we do? Bam! Next thing you know, they're in a coach, an old stagecoach, riding along with the horses. Whoa, and they pull up in front of Fort Liberty, right? And they go into Fort Liberty and they have a grand old time at Fort Liberty and blah, 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 blah. And at the end, geez, Dad, was that for real? Or was that a dream? And then, bam, a big flaming arrow hits the wall with the Fort Liberty logo. Hey, hey. And we did that entire commercial in a 24-hour period. We shot that. So it was, again, phenomenal because we pulled a wonderful team together. We planned, we executed really well. We shot tight, so we never really shot big ratios. We shot very tight. and we posted on video, and it worked out great. I mean, that stuff just really worked out great. And we did another piece for them on an Italian restaurant called Caruso's Palace. We did that in 16. And again, we did that in a 24-hour period. But there, my wife, her sister, and a whole bunch of people got involved in taking a street at a dying retail facility. I think it was called the Mercato, and turning it into an old Italian village, right? Because he wanted in the campaign, in the commercials, he wanted to see the old Italian village, right? The little old lady out sweeping her door front at dawn, the guy on the bicycle, the little fresh and veggie vendor, you know, the lady making her dough, all that stuff. Excuse me. The cancer. I'm real sorry about that. But that worked out great. It looked wonderful. Absolutely peachy keen. We even had a donkey at the very back if you look close enough. Gary always complained to me, why wasn't the donkey up closer? You know. Yeah. But that commercial was just beautiful, the series. And it worked out great. And Gary had a ball. You know, he was in his element that day working with all the talent and the whole deal. And those turned out great. And of course, with all these, we won awards as time went by with these things. You know, and we love shooting in film. We did some film stuff for an English company, promotional stuff about their, you know, incentive sales trips. We did 2 pieces with them, which was a lot of fun. And then we finally got an opportunity to shoot 35, but that was with a different client and a different problem. And we did it, but it didn't really happen under our control like it should have. It got taken away from us in the end. We provided everything, crew of the works, but the creative control was taken away. And so, you know, it was a regional TV commercial campaign. So it turned out okay. It looked good, you know, did the deal, but it didn't hit home like it should because the people who took control just, you know, in my opinion, missed the boat, you know. But that was our only attempt at 35, and that's sad, but, you know, we gave it our best shot. But Gary and Kathy, they were just wonderful, wonderful people. We enjoyed doing all the shoots we did with them. Gary and Howard just loved each other. And he loved everybody. I mean, he loved my wife. He loved Joe. He loved Mike. He loved Vivek. He loved everybody. And that was just a great client and a great deal. And I think it speaks a lot to the fact that several of our clients were like that were with us for 15 years, you know, or longer. And I think that speaks to what I really have always been about. You know, I'm not here to make a buck and run you through my door and out my door. You know, I want you not only as a client, but as a friend. And that's what I've always tried to do. And those commercials were great. And, you know, I still have a lot of these on reels where I can look back at them, you know, kind of fun. But I miss Gary and Kathy, and I am so grateful for all the work that they gave to us during that time period. So we'll go through the other stuff next. As far as the folks on the 35 millimeter, they can kiss my heenie. You know what I mean? Didn't care for them, never spoke to them again after that, never even wanted to. All right. Peace and hang ten.